I'm married to Avis Bruce-Brown. She's the love of my life. We met in Lydians. I used to come practice late.
This person walks in the band room. Hey, what happening? All in see me? Oh, look, I reach. You know, I reach. And he put up a score. I said, where you come from? You know? And he puts up a score. And I there struggling to play the little thing. And he just come on, like I never see him in rehearsal and play on everything. And it taken 2 weeks to learn. And he come and put it up one night, and play it on. And everybody say, hey, Kareem. So I say, who is Kareem? So I started looking at Kareem. You know, I started looking towards perfecting what I doing based on how he was doing it. So I wanted to learn from him. Our friendship started at that junction. There were other instances where I met him out of Lydian Steel. He worked with Highlanders. The respect these guys gave him, and no cursing, and they would stand up and listen to him. And I said, but if he had this command from this young age, you know, that's another plus on his side. And I'm a female coming up in a man's world. I'm going to just put it in the steel band industry. Was considered that time a man's space. And I wanted to develop my arranging techniques as well. So we had a lot of things that we had in common.
I remember doing my first pan down memory lane with past phonics. I didn't really know much about single pan because it's so limited. It's one pan. So the pan contains a certain amount of notes, right? Avis she was more involved in single pan than me. And she was able to help me understand how to voice for this particular style of pans, you know. And we really made a connection there, and we end up winning, right? We tie with LH Pan Group, so Patch Phonics and LH Pan Group tied. As Duvon had arranged for LH at the time too as well, and you know, I remember Duvon coming across asking, "Where you get this big drum from?" You know, I tell him, you know, you had to be from Lavent Hills, because I borrowed those big drums from Lavent Hill rhythm section. And writing a piece of the music for them in the middle of the song, so it show people love for that.
He would say, what you doing tonight? Them fellas coming over, you know, coming and pick you up. And it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I say, Kareem, I sleeping. He said, yeah, them fellas want to do something now. We're doing. I sending somebody to pick you up. And 2 o'clock in the morning, I tell my mom's, I'm going to do some work with Kareem and them. She said, what work you going to do this summer? I said, yeah, we're going to do some work. And 2 o'clock in the morning, a car would be waiting down the hill for me. And we would work until work. I had to pack my clothes for work. And we would sit down and work with these guys until, and then we would go and work with Success School. He was arranging for the school band, and then Carnival will come, and we have about 10 children from the school. Kareem would sit down and do all the demos for them. I write in all the chord sheets, doing, you know, so the whole synergy there between us the friendship was just beautiful, you know. Now, I didn't think a relationship personal would have happened, but I'm looking at him as a budding panist and seeing his growth and development, and I'm saying he's somebody to look out for in the future.
I kind of keep falling in love with her, you know, because she always there to support me in anything, you know, music-wise, and, you know, giving me that support and confidence.
Kareem finished school, and everybody was happy. Hey, Mr. Bankman, you know, he would show up in rehearsals, Lydian Steel, and everybody say, Bankman. And he would come and, you know, we was all elated that he actually didn't just finish school and sit down home for a while. He went straight into the bank. You know, he finished Success, graduated. We was all proud that he doing something, you know, and then, you know, he worked in the bank for about 7 years. And the conversation was like, I really want to pursue music, but I don't know if that is something that you could live off of. And I said, well, I'm not starving. You know, I am doing all right, and I was in the National Orchestra at that time.
So I had conversations with Mr. Sharma, Satnam Sharma, Sat. He was one of the lecturers at the University of the West Indies, and I was talking to him about, you know, making this move out of the bank into the music as a full-time thing. I never did music full-time, you know. And you know, he said, go for it. You know, he thought that I had enough talent. I also spoke with Avis at the time, and she was 100%, you know, on board with leaving the bank. Maybe financially I left a long time, you know, but things don't happen before it's time, right? And you know, she encouraged me to actually do, you know, set up this career in the music industry.
And I am saying, I don't have 90% of the talent you have, and I out here making it. And he started saying, well, this, I really seen what you're saying, Avis.
Spoke to my mother too as well, so she, you know, she wasn't too happy about that. Because I leave it a permanent job, right, and to go into nothing permanent.
With the bank, he would have had some savings, and he applied to UE again to pursue his degree in music. And at that time, we were already together, so I support him. I'm his supported, so it mustn't feel as though you left the bank and you should be disappointed in leaving the bank.
I was nervous. I was scared because I don't know exactly what I'm going into. The thing is, I don't have a monthly income anymore, nothing, you know, permanent. So I had to thinking about, well, how I'm going to survive. How am I going to, you know, take care of myself, you know. It was frightening, but, you know, I decided to take it with an optimistic kind of way, you know, that things will work out.
He won a scholarship through the Music Literacy Trust, which supported his UE career, his studies at UE. So not having a job within that time, it wasn't that bad.
Making that decision, I mean, some people ask if I regret doing it. You know, I looking at it now, I don't regret. I enjoy it immensely.
He was able to manage with what little bit he left with the bank till he was able to be employed in 2007 with the orchestra. I remember when he was auditioned, one of the panelists told him, you're the person that's going to take the National Steel Symphony into a different direction. She saw that in him.
When I auditioned at the time, I was like real, you know, excited because this is a national group, you know, and you only see national groups on TV. And, you know, going at plays that represented the countries outside, you know, outside of Trinidad. And I was really excited. That moment onwards, I started working as a professional musician, getting paid for doing work, solo work, you know, writing music, you know, scoring music. That was the big thing, you know, doing a little producing here and there, you know. So I was a professional, and I guess, you know, looking at just behind the counter at Republic, looking at, you know, my fellow panelists and thing, you know, operating, I was always thinking that, you know, you're not a true musician until you walk the walk now. You know, it's like I have a comfort zone, but, you know, as I start to walk the walk and fight the fight, and, you know, sometimes you're staying long home and you have no work to do, or 2 days, you know, nothing to do at all, and, you know, then somebody call and they want this done and they want that done, and, you know, and you had to do it in a timely manner, you had to do it professionally. So, it allowed me to grow as a musician too as well.
NSSO became a new center for us.
So Avis and I was in UE together, and somehow we ended up in the NSSO together.
we still performing with Lydians, we still doing everything else we're doing, and then our lives changed when our first son was born. Now, as Mary had a little lamb, because everywhere that we went, he would go, because I didn't believe that you make children to leave them behind with other people.
Balancing fatherhood and the music is very difficult. It's not easy. You know, starting off with one son, Micah, you know, he was the first.
And we started venturing into compositions. I started composing and he would produce for me. After having our son, so we would sit down and write music. You'd be having toting him around, give him he bought 2 Zawaka shak shakers, and both of them would be there shaking at 2 o'clock in the morning while he's still writing, you know. We had to find ways now to balance the family life and not exhaust our son, our first son, by our lifestyle.
You know, I remember I was working on her first composition, which is Somewhere in Tobago, that was sung by Steve Seeley. I said, well, Avis, that we just go out of the box, let we do something original, let we do original piece for the band, for the pan, you know, like we do a Bugsy, you know, Bugsy is do original stuff. You know, that was the first debut with the own song, and we made finals and things with it, and Bugsy ended up using it with a Dixieland. I mean, he beat me up with the old song, you know, it's Bugsy, right?
The journey to Tobago was a beautiful experience. It brought out some of our best works.
I think we had a kind of synergy from that point going onwards now, you know, doing music together. It started off with both of us going to the Pania together. And when Mike and Eden was, you know, small, somebody had to stay in. We can't really always carry them to the Panyard. Although Micah went to the Panyard a lot. I guess that's why you don't want to go to the Panyard now. But yes, so we would exchange, or sometimes we would go together, all together as a family, and to the Panyard. We share this connection with the music, and so it's easier to sometimes, you know, when you're leaving to go and do something in the Panyard or go and arrange, it's a little easier for the person to understand what you're going to do and why you're going to do it, and the amount of hours you're spending in the Panyard.